Hello, everyone. My name is Matt Lopez from the Daily Trade. I am here to bring you the watch list for tomorrow, November 25th, 2020. Right, tomorrow is going to be the day before Thanksgiving. We have that holiday, and then we resume to the markets again on Friday. So tomorrow is going to be a interesting day to see how the markets react to that one-day holiday just before expiration day. Also, I want you to make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. It helps out the channel a lot, lets me know that you enjoy the content, as well as liking the video so that I know to push these out more in the future. Not only that, but subscribing as well lets you get all the alerts that you need to throughout the day, as well as the live streams. So to top it all off, we're pretty much going to be talking about a few things. A lot of the runners, right? We've been talking about this for a bit now. Our watch lists are pretty much provided every night during the market week, and they are providing all the content you need to actually continue on. You can go find other stuff, right? But you are going to come here, and I'm going to showcase what we have in store, what we're trading throughout the day, and what we are going to present to you for the next day. So we can see that tomorrow is going to be a big day, right? Today we hit that 30K, baby. Let's go. 30K was hit today on the Dow, topping over with that, with all the news that's going on with everything. You know, obviously the Biden stuff that came out. You had that, you know, a couple days ago. Actually, I believe it was yesterday. That you had that news come out, and not only that, but just the vaccine in general, right? We have all this news keep coming out about vaccine. And guess what? Dow's at 30,000 now. We topped it. We finally made it. After everything in 2020, we have finally hit that 30,000. Our last top was pretty much 29,000. Then we toppled over, and that was the February crash, right? February to March, that was the market crash. Not only that, but SPY and after hours is basically hitting all-time highs. Let me pull up SPY real quick. SPY, right? Almost hitting all-time highs again. We're getting to that pivot point at that level, that 366 area, right? And boom, let me show you that after hours. We are at 364.78. Boom, so close, right? We are almost to that 366 level, 366.77. Are we going to make it tomorrow? Are we not? Is it going to happen this week at all, or are we going to go on a downturn? It really depends on if this momentum can continue into tomorrow. With all the good news that's coming out, just the market overall has a good sentiment. There's nothing really bad going on besides what we already know, which, guess what, is COVID, right? COVID is the only thing that we really know at this point. Everything's still looking green for the most part. The only thing holding us back is, you know, what they're saying about lockdowns and everything for the time being, right? It's not a long-term thing. A lot of this stuff was, you know, we didn't know how everyone's going to react to the lockdown. But it's really just the holiday season. And we already knew that coming into this. It's been happening for weeks. People have been saying it for weeks. You know, governors have been announcing it for weeks. It's not a big deal. It's really not. And I think a lot of people are starting to realize that is, you know, these lockdowns are just ways to prevent you from getting in the market even more and scaring you. There's a lot of stuff you should still be buying into, right? Travel stocks. Why aren't you buying into travel stocks? That's the biggest thing that you should be buying into, right? The cheapest in years that will come. It'll probably be booming in the years to come, right? We're going to see a lot of travel industry. You know, 2 to 3 years from now, we're going to see those booming a lot further than where they are now, right? You're going to see them pumping with a lot of volume. You know, all the articles coming out, travel sectors booming, travel sectors, you know, doing a lot better than what it was in 2020, right? During the, you know, whole travel industry crush. That is going to be the news in about 2 to 3 years, and maybe even next year, right? We're going to see if, you know, the vaccine comes out, all the results come out. We might even see that come out even faster. But other than that, I mean, you're seeing the market react in such a positive way that there really is no negative news coming out yet. But we are still on the look for it, right? We are coming back to these levels and we want to pay attention to it. Last time we were in these levels, we were pretty much just bobbing around in the supply and demand levels. And that was annoying, right? We were doing that for a couple months there, just bobbing around, getting crushed. It was happening for such a long time that we were just getting tired of it. You know, it wasn't fun to trade because it was just up and down, up and down, up and down. Oh, shoot, we're coming back down. We're coming back up. Oh, okay, we're going to go back down to those levels. It happened every other day. That's what happened. And now we're getting some sort of we're getting a nice volume pump, right? So it's not just nothing out of nowhere, right? We're getting, everything's reacting to technical analysis perfectly. Everything's reacting to how it should be. Before the whole crash and COVID and everything, the market used to be in a way where you could tell if something was going to run. You could see the volume, you could see all this stuff happen. And overnight, now with COVID, you started to see a lot of stuff happen overnight, and it would be like boom, tank, boom, pump. It would be out of nowhere. You wouldn't know which way to go, which way to swing, right? So it's really something that's coming back, and a lot of people are noticing that the volume is coming back to a normalcy. Even coming into the end of the year, we're starting to see something where we might see a run into 2021. Same thing as last year, right? We had that run of 2019 into 2020 for the first part of the year in the quarter. And this is really what's affecting us going into the end of the year. There, is pretty much going to be this, this buy. And don't forget, IRAs people are contributing a lot to their retirement accounts or their accounts in general just for tax season. They don't want to sell anything towards the end of the year. You're pretty much buying up into the end of the year because guess what? You get to buy up everything into the end of the year, and then boom, your taxes cut off, and that's when most people sell. Is right when the year ends, because guess what? Now you can sell and make up for those taxes that you had the last year. So it just makes logical sense. And just seeing that, now we're coming back to all-time highs. It's great to see these volume pumps. You can see them in different stocks, right? You're able to see that different volume is reacting to different stuff. And it's not just random volume out of nowhere, and then, no volume and it continues to pump, or no volume and it, pretty much dumps. It's not normal. That is not normal. But what is normal is our normalcy, right? We're getting our volume back. And it is fun. It's not the algos basing everything. And really, that's really what we're here to talk about mainly, is spot all-time highs, right? And then our Dow 30,000. I just ordered my Dow 30,000 hat today. Man, I am ready to wear it proudly around Dow 30,000. Let's go, right? And the major thing that a lot of people are noticing now is U.S. steel. And I haven't seen this move in so long. It's been a while, and I'm still surprised people are still investing in it. But today was a day that you wanted to be in it. And the reason why is because steel ran over 23% today. Why did they run over 23%? Well, guess what? Steel is going into a new electrical era. U.S. Steel announced today that they were coming out with a electrical furnace being allowing them to produce their steel not only environmentally friendly, but it is going to it is going to boost the revenue in a way from the counties that they are being issued these bonds, allowing them to not only mature, but to use those profits and that revenue from the bonds to use for the environmentally safe steel burners, and that they're able to use, so the furnaces, right? And that's going to propel them and, pretty much propel them into the new era as we get into less emissions into the air and more green friendly, right? As we get into the Biden campaign, you're going to see a lot more, what is it, as we say, cannabis, right? You're going to see the electrical vehicle stocks. You're going to see anything with green in it. That's going to be the new thing in the market, right? Green, 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 green. And it's all they're going to talk about. Who cares what political party you are? Just go with what's flowing, right? What is everyone hyping about? That's what a day trader should be about, is what is moving the markets, and that is what you should be in, not what political stance it is in. It is based on what people are doing in the markets. The market doesn't care about, that stuff. It only cares about what other people are in and what is moving, right? It doesn't react to that. So that's why financial news is the most factual, because guess what? It's the stuff that's moving money. And that's really what, I base my whole stuff on, is just that, you need to pay attention more to the financial markets, and that's what really we are here for. So U.S. Steel, right? That's pretty much what we're looking at too. Just because we see that big volume pump today after that nice little run up for the past, couple months. We saw that. But today was just a new era, right? Seeing how steel is just making its new way into the era of green, right? Are we going to see this run even further? Possibly, right? The news isn't going to be out to, normal people. I mean, there's normal people. And what I say by normal people is that they're not traders. The traders that are day trading this stuff, they see the news right on the spot. Those are the people that are here trading in the first part. And then the normal people come in and buy because they saw the news. But that article, they didn't see that it was released 3 days ago, 5 days ago, a week ago, a month ago. So really, they're going to be getting in this a little bit later. And that's why things run for so long, right? So that's something you should be interested in. Airlines, what's happening with airlines? As I said, pretty much, airlines are going to be booming no matter what, right? Airlines are going to be, the travel sector is going to be the biggest thing that's going to pump in the next couple years. Just keep buying it. Guess what? They're going to bring back their dividends. People are going to buy even more. Guess why? Because their dividends, right? That's going to be providing them and such a low price. You're going to have those prices skyrocket, not only because they're giving out their dividends again, but because the prices of the stock is so low and the travel is coming back, and it will come back when the vaccine is out. That's why people are going to be buying huge, right? We already see that Delta Airlines is almost back to its pre-COVID conditions, right? We're already halfway there. And their dividend is pretty nice for what it is, right? And you're getting it at a cheap price still. And if you didn't know, it's good to buy. It's still good to buy. We're looking at, the airline industry going into the holiday season and the lockdowns. Now, what do we see with the lockdowns? The lockdowns are presenting us saying, oh, you should be scared to go into these airlines. No, not really. You know why? Because all the news is showing is that there is actually people are going to get COVID when they get on the airlines. People are not going to fly anymore because of COVID. No, that's false. Go look at all the news articles. There's a lot of stuff and there's a lot of pictures actually showing these airports actually being crowded. That is a huge demand for the airline industry, right? We're still seeing a lot of people go during the holidays. Nobody's gonna, take that order of actually staying home for the holidays. People are gonna go visit their family. It's the most depressing year in history, right? It's worse than the depression. This is the depression in psychological terms, not the terms in the market, but the psychological terms. And that's what pretty much we're seeing here is that Delta Airlines, not only Delta Airlines, American Airlines, Spirit Airlines, JetBlue, Alaska Airlines, Boeing. You're seeing all these airlines, and not only the airlines, travel sectors, Expedia. You have all these different ones that are going to be booming, right? But with that, we're seeing people are not staying home for the holidays, and that's why we're seeing the big boom and the bust for the airlines and all this stuff. So that's really why I'm here to talk about that. EV stocks, man, we talked about this last night on the watch list, right? EV stocks, that is just the huge hype, nothing really to base it off of. We have all these stocks that have been running crazy amounts, right? Crazy amounts. We have XPEV ran yesterday for the biggest time, and that was insane, right? And yet it had less volume than it ran on this candle over here. But what we want to see is that this pullback, right? We need to see this pullback finally after people start taking profits and the IV starting to kill down. And that's what we want to see going into the rest of the week as well into the end of the year. Because guess what? People aren't going to stay in this stuff for so long, right? It's not gonna hold itself. It will continue to rise, but it's not gonna sustain itself for the short term. For the long term, possibly. So the equity buying on the way down is not a bad idea. We're looking at, just a bunch of stocks that have been running up, right? CIC, I've been waiting to buy into this thing since they actually came out. So I've been waiting, but the thing is too high. You already know that, too many people are buying in this. You got to buy in at a lower price. Another one that everyone knows, BLNK. This thing has been running like insane amounts, right? From $10 right there all the way to 34 yesterday. Now we're at 28. These options expire on the 18th of December. They are monthly options, not weekly, so you do have a little bit of time. But we are seeing that there could be a bit of a theta crush before the 18th comes, so we need to wait a little bit. So it's not as volatile, right? As we talked about yesterday, mainly in the watch list, is how the days of the options expiration is pretty much the most volatile in the market, right? That day is going to drive the market, and not so close of options, close to the, I mean, on this stock, you're not going to see much volatility at this time, right? You're only going to see it rise or just data crush, and that's pretty much what we might see as well. And Neo as well, right? So you see that. And not only to talk about that, but we have our short floats, right? So short floats, obviously, that's the amount of sellers on the pretty much the shares in the open markets that are under shorts, right? They are pretty much trying to short sell their position in the stock itself. And this itself, NEO, has the highest short float right now that I could find. That was actually in the EV sector. So 34% is, sorry, right here, 34% is pretty much the most bearish that you can get, right? That is a huge amount. 20%, it's like, all right, you're getting bearish. 30% is like, all right, you fully need to be bearish at this point. And, you know, obviously NEO, right? We need to be bearish on this fully. NEO is, you know, it just needs to come back down. It needs to come back down at some point. There's no reason why we should be this high. Obviously, I mean, they're doing fine as a company, right? But it's ran too fast. We're running too much. And it could be like Zoom, right? We continue higher and higher and then pull back for a bit and then continue higher. That's how it should be. At these levels, it's not sustainable for, you know, a longer term. So the longer it rises, you know, the longer it's going to continue to go lower. So it's just, it's not that hard to figure out why you should short these. It's really just knowing that you shouldn't be buying into them at these prices. Yes, it was okay, you know, to pretty much ride this up. You can see some volume pumps here. But now at these levels, you're finding some contradiction in between the volume. You're buying and selling volume. PLTR. PLTR with a short interest of 3.4%, not too bearish and not too bullish, right? We're looking at a very neutral position, but it's still, you know, it's still bullish because it's not really much of a bearish position. And we're still seeing that as it continues higher, right? This just IPO'd in September. I bought on IPO day, by the way. But we're not seeing this pretty much move any lower at this point. It has been on a volume hike, right? We've seen that volume hike over day, and day in and day out. It has been awesome. Blink, I already talked about that, right? I don't think I need to go into that anymore. Blink, you know, you already know that 18%. We already know about that. I told you. But other than that, I just want to thank you guys for watching the watch list. It lets me know that you guys pay attention. You guys are actually here to enjoy what I put out and the content, and just let me know as well. I mean, just by subscribing or liking the video lets me know a lot, and I thank you for that to continue this content. And I hope in the future that we are able to make this as big as we can, right? Make it as big as a community as we can. And that is pretty much what we're going to be looking into tomorrow. So I want to thank you again and see you tomorrow on the live stream. You know, Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. We are here, baby. We are looking live. All right. And all the watch lists and everything, very detailed watch lists are going into the chat itself. And I will see you at the live stream to show you what's moving in the markets. All right, everyone. Have a good night.